All right, welcome back to Rugby Rundown. This is going to be my breakdown of the round 5 of Tri-Nations, the match between the All Blacks and the Pumas, their second meeting of this tournament. And I'm just going to dive into it. Basically, going to give down my opinion on each of the points scored, like kind of the points and the moments throughout the game. I'm going to be talking a bit about why I think the All Blacks had more success this time around, and talk about my man of the match. So spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it. The final score was 38-0 for the All Blacks. Incredible bounce back from their loss to Argentina 2 weeks ago. They just showed once again that they really know how to get it done. When they're hurting or when there's doubts about them, they can come back and put in a performance that shuts everyone up. And like the performance against Australia, that was their largest win margin over the Wallabies 4 weeks ago. This win this past Saturday was the first time that the All Blacks had held Argentina to 0 points in a game. And for a team like Argentina, which are renowned for taking 3 points at all times, it was very impressive. And it was actually worth getting up really early in the morning because, again, with my bias, I was very excited over the fact that they won again. This is going to be another video where I praise the All Blacks and talk about where I think the Pumas went wrong. So starting off the bat, you could kind of see right as the game started, the difference between this game and last game is that it felt like the All Blacks were more in control. Where last time that these teams met, it was the Pumas who felt like they were always dictating. Even when they were in defense, they dictated how the game went. They dictated when they took the ball, when they were going to break the line, like that kind of stuff. They always felt like they had an upper hand and control over the game. This time around, it was the exact opposite. There wasn't a single moment in this game where I felt like, the All Blacks didn't have control of the game. They were constantly putting pressure. They were constantly on the attack. They had most of the territory, most of the possession, and it was just an incredible improvement from their last outing. 11 minutes in, that was the first try that we got to see. They'd been attacking, and Dane Coles gets the ball on the wing, where he is his most magical, and slides over for the first try of the game. It was nice. The link pass between Mo'unga's pass, where he gets the ball and kind of loops it over, placing it perfectly for Dane Coles, kind of going over that last defender. That was nice. It was nice to see Mo'unga kind of go back into, because he's been a little bit hit and miss this year in terms of being an international player. He's had some games where it's felt like he's the one who's the best player of the game, or he's the one controlling everything and creating these moments. And there's other games where he just feels like a normal, like any other 10. Like you could slot anybody in, they would do the exact same performance as he did. So it was nice. He had a few moments like that throughout the game. He was also very consistent on his kicks throughout this game. He nailed every conversion. I think he only missed one kick, so that was good for him. And speaking of which, 17th minute, he gets a penalty goal. He takes the kick, and it's a 10-0 lead for the All Blacks about 20 minutes in. And that was actually the last points that were scored that half. You got a few other moments where they were still constantly on attack. Like, for example, Richie Mo'unga, again, showing his magic, breaking the line, and finding Caleb Clark on the wing with this beautiful long pass. And Caleb Clark's that close to getting in, but his hand slid out of bounds. So that was halftime. Second half, things obviously started to pick up. Like I said, it was 38-0 final score. So 10-0 halftime. There's a lot to come. 51st minute, Artie Savea. Basically, it's just a line out, and he gets the ball and just finds this little gap. I think he tacked between the 9 and the 10, and it's really hard to stop Artie Savea when he's really built up that head of steam, and especially when he's going after small players like that. And I thought that the Argentinian defense all around were tackling very well, but Artie Savea is a very hard man to stop, especially that close. And then in the 68th minute, Will Jordan became the hero of the All Blacks for a good 4 minutes. That's it. But he scored twice in 2 minutes. So in terms of 4 minutes, it was plus conversion time. But Will Jordan comes off the bench, and holy cow. The first try in the 68th minute, it was actually not due to anything specifically that he did that gave him this opportunity, but actually the centers. I think it was Leonard Brown and Ioane, not on the wing, but in the center position, put some incredible pressure up on the Argentinian centers, and they made a simple mistake. Ball goes to ground. Will Jordan comes in, picks it up, and he's gone. He is extremely fast, and it was really good to see him score a try. He hasn't really had much time, in the All Blacks jersey, especially coming off of a Super Rugby Aotearoa season where he was the best player. He had scored the most points, and there was no doubt that he was pretty much the most informed player of the tournament. It was nice to finally see him, shine under the big test lights. And then 2 minutes later, like I said, this one was more of a risky play. Argentina had some good hands down, and they looked like they were about to get around. And it was actually very similar to a try by France in the Six Nations earlier this year from Roman Ntamack, where it's just well timed, and really if they don't make that interception, there's going to be a line break. And this is actually where it comes down to the defense responsibility of the winger. As a winger, when you're on the field, and I can speak to this because I play wing, so I like to think I know a little bit about some of the reasoning behind what they're doing on defense and on attack. But as a winger on defense, when the ball's going out wide and you have an overlap, like you recognize that if you don't take away that space, take away that option, or at least try to hide it from the ball carrier, you're most likely going to let them just go right by you. So stopping the attack, there's many ways to do it. The first one is you rush up, you hit the player that's going to be making that pass before they can actually pass it along. The problem with this is if the player before them sees it, they can just throw the pass over, similar to what Richie Mo'unga did for Dane Cole's try. The second option is to just get in the space, be there. You stop the pass and you kind of get in the middle. Cheslin Colby does this a fair amount. He'll just be in the area. He'll rush up. He'll make it difficult because as a ball carrier, you can lob it over, but there's a chance that he's still going to intercept it. Or you can try to run it, but he's in your way, so it's kind of like a block from the rest of your team. And then the third option, the one that I love the most, and most people love seeing, is you just kind of bide your time until you think you got the timing on a pass, and you go for that interception. This is high risk, high reward, because if you drop it, chances are you could get a yellow for intentional knock-on. But if you get it, it's very hard to stop anyone like a winger or a fullback or even a 10 who gets an interception and just has that head of steam. Like, they're gone. So even Will Jordan was surrounded by Pumas players, but they were on the front foot and they weren't even thinking about him. So when he made that interception, he was gone. So those 3 or 4 minutes, Will Jordan was probably at the hearts of every All Blacks fan around the world. So that was really awesome to see, especially for a winger that has really put in the work this season. So it was good to see it pay off. And then 4 minutes into extra time, Patrick Tuipulotu, basically this try comes down to Argentina side being tired from the All Blacks constantly putting pressure and asking questions and breaking them down. And the All Blacks having fresher legs than Argentina. So ball is just getting worked back and forth. Patrick Tuipulotu sees a gap and takes off, and he gets to the line. And you could really see how much this big score, like that score specifically, but putting in a good performance meant for the All Blacks, because if they showed the bench, and the bench was going crazy for him. And you can tell that it was really just a passion for having a game be so successful, ending it on a high note, ending their season on a high note. And the season's been a little bit rocky, so to have it, finish off so well was really good. They're actually, for a team that's looking like who's had like their 10th worst year and it like hasn't been doing good at all in terms of the All Black standards, they still won the Bledisloe Cup, and it looks like they're still going to come away with the Tri-Nations Cup based off bonus points. But I'll be talking a bit about that one in my prediction video coming Thursday or Friday on the Wallabies versus Argentina game. So my man. First of all, I wanted to talk about why I think the All Blacks did better this week. And really, it's just executing their game plan and having more intent. Last game they kind of felt like they were supposed to win it. It's kind of been the way it is with Argentina. They're always going to win. Even if they're down, they'll still pull out an upset. And Argentina played it like a test match. They were smart with everything. They put the scoreboard pressure on. The All Blacks kind of just expected to win. This game, you could see they weren't taking anything for granted. They prepared like I'm sure they were prepared for any other Tier 1 nation. They prepared like they would for Springboks or Wallabies or even a Northern Hemisphere team like France or England right now. And it showed. They upped their attacking kicks from 16 to 26. I know a lot of people, including myself, don't like when they kick a lot, but I don't like it when they kick a lot and there's no purpose behind it. This week, even though they upped the kicks had more intent. They're placed specifically to break down that Argentinian defense. Like I said, it takes a lot of the game to break down our defense, and you have to slowly pick away at it. There's been a lot of complaints with the kicks about it, while it takes away from the free-flowing game that the All Blacks used to play, and that's how they used to win. While nowadays, with defenses getting better, you have to put these kicks into play into certain positions to make the defense question themselves, make them work harder, make them have to be just working twice as hard as you are and thinking twice as hard as you are, so that when it comes to that 60th minute, they're gassed. And you could see from the 60th minute, they scored 3 tries after the 60th minute and 3 tries before it. So you just have to slowly, and even though you're not scoring or you're not going to a huge lead, which they were this game, but you may not be, you slowly have to break down that team. So it was really good to see them. Specifically, what they were doing is they're putting a few crossfield kicks, but also kicks right in behind, because Argentina has their 9 in the line. So they're putting it right in behind where the 9 would usually be to cover the chip kick or a kick right through. And that made Argentina have to question, like, should he be in the line? Their defense was unset. Like, they had to defer from their defensive plan. So, yeah. That's why I think they did better this week. And moving on to my man of the match. I wanted to give this to Will Jordan because as a winger and as someone who loves watching anybody who's fast and very has that kind of X factor, he had a great, he got a double. He scored his first test try and his second test try within 2 minutes, which is incredible. But I do have to recognize the true man of the match, Akira Ioane. Holy crap, did he do well. Part of the reason that the All Blacks were successful, which I wanted to save till now, was their gain line success. They were constantly going forward. And I think the average was like somewhere between 50 and 70%. But Akira Ioane, he had an average of 80% gain line success. So 4 out of 5 carries, he was getting past where the ball was previously. And for any forwards can back it up, that's very hard to keep that sort of statistic, especially at that level. And he's not a seasoned veteran when it comes to Test rugby. This is, I think, his second Test start. His other one was against the Wallabies earlier this year. And he looked amazing. He made 9 out of 10 tackles, 90%. Again, unheard of. And 7 line-out wins. The set piece was a huge part in the All Blacks winning. Again, I wanted to save it for this because Akira Ioane was a huge part of them having line-out success and them being successful in the set piece. Also, I did forget to mention this part in why All Blacks did very well. Their scrum. Every time they had a chance to use the scrum, both on attack and on defense, they used it and they used it well. They dominated the Pumas scrum and it was crazy. You could just tell, even if you hadn't watched, you could watch the scrum and you could tell which team was better. They were constantly getting the ball back through it and they were constantly winning penalties through it. It was very smart play, and it was just beautiful to watch. Even though I'm not a forward, it was amazing to watch. But back to Kiriawani. Oh my God, this man looked amazing, and some of like those stats that I told you, they're not basic like everyday stats from a 6 or a 7 or anyone who's playing Test rugby. Like, these are exceptional numbers, and like I said, he's not a seasoned veteran. In fact, he almost quit rugby, I think, a year or two ago. You know, I've slowly been hearing his story as it's been building. His brother Rico had a huge rise to fame. I think it was in 2016, 2017, whenever he had, especially the Lions tour, when he just kind of burst onto the scene. And he's been not a mainstay, but he's been a core member of the All Blacks team since. But his brother Akira, he was on the fringes, and I think he's talked about it before. He had to look at his mindset, and he had to shift it, and he had to put in more work. He had to look at just being a better player overall and changing how he approached getting into the All Blacks jersey. And now that he's there, he looks phenomenal. So kudos to him. But anyways, guys, that's my breakdown of the round 5 of the Tri-Nations, All Blacks versus Pumas, New Zealand versus Argentina. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if there's anything you want me to cover in the Autumn Nations Cup or over the winter about rugby, basics, stuff like that I can kind of inform and use it for rugby content, please let me know. Other than that, guys, I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Podcast should be coming soon. Peace.